Welcome to another live stream. Didn't plan to go live today, but this popped up. Community meeting for Kiely Rodni that was it was held on August the 10th, so 2 days ago. But the Placer County Sheriff's Office have put it on YouTube today. So firstly, I want to publicise that it's there. But secondly, and most importantly, I want to go through it with you because they've got quite a long question and answer session, and it does answer some of the questions that I've been wondering about and debating in my own head. But I've also mentioned it in the video today about my concerns about the teen team meetings. But that question has been answered for me. So I'm going to go through this community meeting. It's about 48 minutes long, so I'll keep stopping it and chatting to you. So this live might get a little bit long, but I'm not going to be here all night. And before I start, I just want to let you know that I've got 6 dogs in the room, because I've got 2 of my daughter's dogs here for the weekend. So I've got a Springer Spaniel called Max, who's quite old and very, very sensible. But I've got a 10-week-old puppy. So I may have to go and rescue him at some point. He's currently outside. He's not locked outside. He can come in whenever he wants, but he's gone outside. So I'm going to have to go and check on him at some point. He can't get out. I know he can't get out of the yard because if there was a way out, Cassie would have found it already, I'm quite sure. So he's quite safe, but I will have to go and check on him because I'll get nervous. So I know I mentioned it this morning that I'm looking after 2 extra dogs this weekend, and someone in my comments said, I hope we're going to get a puppy vlog. And you absolutely are going to get a puppy vlog. I'm going to do a puppy vlog on probably Miss Tillington's channel. Maybe tomorrow or maybe Sunday. Probably Sunday, to be honest. But yeah, so if you like puppies and extremely fluffy puppies, then you'll love that vlog. But thanks everyone for joining me at quite short notice. So it's 1 a.m. where JD is. 1 a.m. Wow. Okay. I'm normally up at 1 a.m. to be fair. Hi, Friendly Frog, Crystal, Shannon, Nancy. I know. I hope they find her as well. I really do. Rambling Rome, Paisley, Linda, Buglove, Holly, Carolyn, Forensics Lover. That's an interesting name. Just Me, Suzanne, Truth and Justice, Smiley Stories World, Scott H. Hi, Scott. May. Who else? Marjorie, Lady Di, Burlington Park, Sandra, Bonnie, Ruby Red Dress, Star Winters, Joan, Diane. Loads of people tuning in. Anna, hi. Nana. Who else? Pat, Joyce, Parody Patty, Erna, Tiny, Moms, More, 68, Little Bit, Bam, Bella, Lana, Molly Brown, Uptown. That's interesting. Marie, Denise. Hello, everyone. Right. I think I've said hello to everyone who's commented, and I don't normally get there. But right, so without further ado, I'm going to start this. Can you let me know if there's an echo? I'll play with the audio because what I don't want to do is keep having to mute and unmute myself when I stop and start, because that'll get really annoying and I'll probably forget and end up talking for like 5 minutes whilst I'm on mute. So I've fiddled with the audio settings. I don't know whether I've done it right, but let me know once this starts. And I can read the chat while I'm going through this because I've got a second screen on the go. So if I position myself so I can see that other screen, that would help, wouldn't it? I'm not even facing that other screen at the moment. Right, I can see the chat. Okay, it's fine at the moment, Marie, because I've not started the meeting yet. the community meeting. I've not started the video yet. So this is on Placer County Sheriff's Office live stream. Here's a link to it if you want to go and listen to it afterwards without my interruptions. I've also put it in the description box of this video. Okay, so once I start this, let me know if there's an echo. I know it's clear now because I've not started the video yet, but let me know. Okay, guys, here we go.
Good evening, everyone.
Oh, yeah, and the audio is very low, so I can't do anything about that. The audio is really low. Wearing headphones will help. So, yeah, let me know about the echo.
My name is Angela Musalam. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Placer County Sheriff's Office. I want to thank everybody here for joining us tonight. I also want to thank the Rec Center for allowing us to use their facilities during this extremely challenging time. We'd also like to thank Nevada County Supervisor Hardy Bullock for being with us here tonight. This is a joint incident.
So I'm hearing that the audio is good. That's good. Right, we can get on. So I'll stop this at relevant points because there's quite a lot to discuss here.
Unified incident search.
Sorry, Diane, there's nothing I can do about the audio. It's on their end, I'm afraid. I can turn it up. It's up as far as I can make it go. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't turn it up. I can't turn it up anymore, Nana. It's on their end. If you wear headphones, it does help a lot. So if you go and grab yourself a pair of headphones, if you've got them, it does help. And where they've got the questions, they put the questions on screen. So that's helpful because you can't hear the questions that are asked, but they've put the questions on screen. The questions are written on the screen. So, right, without further ado, let's go.
For Kiely Rodni. And so we're extremely grateful to be working with multiple agencies, including the Nevada County Sheriff's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the California Highway Patrol, and the Truckee Police Department. I'd like to now introduce our Placer County Sheriff, Wayne Wu, for a few words.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight on behalf.
Can I turn myself down? Maybe. Hold on. Let me see. Microphone. Can I turn microphone down? Audio built in. No, I can't. I can move further away so that I'm not close to the mic. That's the only thing I can do because I'm using StreamYard and the settings are pretty poor, to be honest. Anyway, so we're just going to have to manage, but you can listen to this after the stream with subtitles will come on once this stream has uploaded and processed. You'll be able to use the closed captions, and also you'll be able to view it, you know, yourself. So, okay, let's go properly now this time.
On behalf of Sheriff Moon from Nevada County, we can't thank you enough. You know, the Tahoe Truckee community is a very close-knit, special place, and I think it's evident what a special community this is with the outpouring of support that we've received thus far in our search to find Kiely. You know, when this started, Sheriff Moon and I both dedicated every resource possible that we had at our disposal to try to find Kiely, and we will continue to do so. In my 32-year law enforcement career, I can honestly say I have never seen the amount of resources.
Anna, this was recorded on the 10th, so 2 days ago, but Placer County Sheriff's Office have only just put it on their YouTube channel this afternoon. I have seen a few clips of it, but this is the first time I've seen it all the way through. Some clips appeared on Twitter yesterday, but I hadn't seen the whole thing, so I thought we could go through it together.
Resources poured into a single investigation like came into this community and has been searching here since last weekend. I think today we eclipsed over 5,000 man hours of investigative work and search and rescue in order to try to find Kiely and make sure we bring her home. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to need this community's help moving forward. We're going to need your support. The family's going to need your support. And I can assure you on behalf of Sheriff Moon and I, we will continue to dedicate the resources at our disposal to get to the bottom of this and try to bring Kiely home. So I want to thank all of our partners that have helped us out thus far, from state, federal, and local agencies. It's just been amazing. So with that, I'll turn it over back to Angela, and thank you for being here tonight. We really appreciate your support.
I'd like to now introduce Behavioral Health Director Phoebe Bell for a few words.
Hi, all. I'm sorry that we have to be here together today, and as always, I'm glad that we are together, and that is what we do best in this community, wrapping around each other. And to that end, I know we're here because most of all, we want information. We desperately want information, and we want to help. We desperately want to help. But I just want to remind you all that part of helping is taking care of yourselves and each other. And this is a really trying time. It's incredibly anxiety provoking, a lot of fear, grief, anxiety, and we really need to do self-care, do care for each other. I want to let you know about some resources that are out there if you need them. A great variety of community partners have come together to make sure that we have mental health support on site here at the rec center every day from 10 to 4. Drop by anytime, tell somebody, can I have a 5-minute walk with you? I just need to vent for a minute. Whatever you need to do, use that resource. It's there for all of you, for all of us.
It's good that they've got mental health support at this early stage. Be interesting to see how long that goes on for, because this is the acute phase of the search. So within a week, maybe 2 weeks, the hub that they're using, the community services that they're using, search and rescue will move out, and the search will become more of a desk operation. Now, hopefully, Kiely will be found before that happens, but still, that acute phase does end, and it becomes a desk operation with targeted searches. So just to answer a couple of people who've just come in, I can't do anything about the audio. It's low on their end. I've moved away from the mic to try to equalize the sound between them and me. If you wear headphones, it does help a lot. And this was filmed on the 10th. So they're speaking from 2 days ago. I saw some clips of this yesterday that came out on Twitter, but I hadn't seen the whole thing. And it is new to YouTube. It was put on Placer County Sheriff's Office YouTube channel just about, 2 hours before I came live. So it's new to YouTube. And please press the pepper. What did I miss? Has Ellie gotten the best friend and other teens to stop inserting themselves? No, they haven't. And that's one of the things I want to discuss when that comes up. That's going to come up shortly.
In addition, there's some resource sheets with information about crisis lines and other sources of support you can use. And then also Gateway Mountain Center is opening their teen center every afternoon for anybody that wants to drop by, any young people that want to drop by. We are doing a phenomenal job of caring for each other, but it's so critical. It's how we're going to get through this, is leaning into each other and leaning into the love we all feel for Kiely and for each other. So take care, one and all.
Next to our Placer County Sheriff's Lieutenant Josh Barnhart. He will be discussing more on the investigation thus far.
evening, everyone. I'm currently assigned to investigations as a lieutenant in our main office in Auburn. And like the sheriff said, the outpouring of support from the community and from law enforcement agencies has just been amazing to watch. And I just want to tell the family again that we're working very hard for you. We've brought the family in, we've shown them what we're doing, and hopefully they have been able to see the extent to which law enforcement and our assistance has gone to this point with the search and rescue effort, with the investigations effort, and all of the agencies involved in this is just amazing. We've had to tell detectives, no, you're done for the day. You need to go home and be stubborn and staying longer, working on very little sleep. Just 3 points to talk about tonight. We are continuing to collect media from every source, video, especially photos. We've even asked attendees of the party to come in that were willing to bring their phone so that we could use the data from their phones for the investigation.
And that's good. I would imagine that should be standard procedure. There's surprisingly few photos or videos from the party. I've tried just about every hashtag, every search, every keyword on every social media that I've got access to, and I cannot find more than 2 photos. There's a short video that I think has come from Sammy that I saw on one news report, and then another photo that a few news outlets have shared. I don't know, guys. There must be hundreds of photos or videos. Now, I know it was dark, and I know that they were partying, but I mean, Sammy herself has said that she's got loads of photos and videos, and you know, I don't care if we don't see them. I don't care, as long as law enforcement has, because you never know what's caught in the background of any one of those photos. But it will be a considerable feat for them to go through every single one of those. And obviously they can brighten, even if the photos or the videos are dark, they can brighten them up and look in the background of them. So I think that could be crucial to finding out whether Kiely's in any of those photos or videos, and who she's with at the time. So that is going to be, it could well, be something that really helps. Those of you saying you can hear a cat hissing, yeah, you can. That's Tasha. She's not happy that there's a puppy in the house. When he came in this afternoon, she asserted her dominance straight away and hissed him and patted him. And she's not mean. She's just putting him in his place. So, yeah, you're right, S. The Snapchat type sites that don't keep the photos. Snapchat had to change its, I mean, I don't have Snapchat, but I think Snapchat had to change its policies, and they do now have servers where the imagery is stored, but they would need search warrants to get that type of information. So yeah, that's not an easy fix. That's not just a case of kids going in showing their the photo reels or their Instagram or whatever. If they're going down the route of having to go through Snapchat of multiple people, they'll need search warrant for every single account, and that can take weeks. So I don't know. I mean, at this stage, they're just doing what they can do, and at this stage in the acute phase, yes, that's important, but it's actually getting out there. Excuse me, getting out there, boots on the ground, air searches, dive teams, and just trying to find Kiely, or at least some evidence of where Kylie's been. So that's it, Batgirl. So you're telling me every single one of those 300 people that attended didn't post one public pic and all use Snapchat? I can't find any. I can't find any. I don't know. I'm obviously not a teenager, and I don't know the hashtags that they might have used, but I think other YouTube channels are also struggling to find anything from the party. It's odd. It's really odd. Eudora says it's likely that they use those apps at parties. Sammy did mention when she spoke to All-American, what's his name? All-American Dream Chaser, Dream Catcher or something, that they use a site called Be Real that I'd never heard of. So they were posting things on Be Real. So if anybody knows anything about Be Real that might be able to inform me or anyone what Be Real's all about, then I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
We've been working the extensive amount of tips that have come in, and I urge everyone to continue that effort. Make sure that you're anything that comes up that you think of, please call that tip line. And again, you can remain anonymous if you desire. Our detectives, including the FBI, have been going door to door, collecting media as well, video. They've been going to residences, collecting ring camera video, anything that they can, gas stations. We've been asked, you know, what about cameras at intersections, cameras here? Everything we're taking into consideration at this point, and we're collecting.
I'd be interested to know, for anybody in the area, things like ring camera footage. I mean, obviously gas stations and intersections will have cameras. You know, just a sighting of a car going by to know what direction she went in. I guess that's what they're looking at this footage for, to see whether they can spot her car, and then they've at least got a direction. But ring doorbells, I'd be interested. Obviously, the campground looks very isolated. So how quickly does it become residential? You know, looking at the map of the area, it looks pretty isolated. And then you get on to, I think it's 89, and it goes south towards Truckee. And I think that will be where you start getting into a residential area. And yeah, I'd be interested to know if anybody in the area, you know, she'd have had to go into a town, wouldn't she? I think for ring doorbell footage to be really useful, but it's good that they're being thorough. They're being so thorough.
I'll just end with 12:33 a.m. was the last known time that we have for Kiely. Anything after that, we have not been able to find. And so please, again, we urge, we beg you that if you were there, you know something, please come forward and give us that information so we can continue our investigation past 12:33. Thank you.
So that's very, very interesting. 12:33 is what the cops have said all the way through. That they've not had any proof of life or any sightings or anything of Kiely since 12:33. But yet, exactly, Stargirl, her friend Sammy said 12:36. That was when Kiely rang her. And Sammy's been saying that she's the last person to speak to Kiely. And that was when Kiely rang her to ask her if she needed a ride at 12:36. Now, Stargirl says maybe her clock is wrong. Well, don't phone clocks, aren't they automatic? Don't they update automatically? It's not like they run fast or slow. So how would that work? I don't know how that would work. Maybe she's just mistaken, and if she does look at her call log, she'll see that was 12:33 and not 12:36. It's only 3 minutes, so it's you know, it's possible, it's probably likely that it's Sammy that's mistaken. So I think we've got to say 12:33. So firstly, Angel says Sammy's phone could have not had service at 12:33. It reconnected at 12:36. Yeah, but how could then, if it didn't have any service, how could Kiely have rung her? So I don't know. I mean, 3 minutes, it's an easy mistake. I just don't like inconsistencies. But I'm going to go with 12:33. I'm not going to listen to Sammy's time. I'm going to go for 12:33 because that's what law enforcement have said consistently. I don't know. That's a good question, the Joy Catcher. Is anything missing from her home? Because they were planning a camping trip, weren't they, the following day? So she'd have packed at home already. Anything missing from her home? I don't know. That's not come up. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't think she's run away. I really don't. I think that would be, as a theory, that would be far down on the list. You know, I'm thinking at the moment, this is just me, my opinion. At the moment, I think theory one for me is something around foul play, whether that's abduction, whether that's I don't know, a fight that's gone wrong, some kind of foul play. Secondly, accident. I was 50-50 on foul play and accident at the beginning of the week, but now we're almost a week into this. And given the amount of searches that have gone on, and given that this campground was only, what, is it 12 miles or something from her home? If she was traveling home, even if she got lost, I'm pretty sure that her vehicle would have been found at something, skid marks. She'd have had to go out of her way, you know, got so terribly lost and gone really out of her way for her to met an accident at this stage that hasn't been found yet. I mean, it's still possible. It's still possible, but I just think skid marks, signs of a car going off the road, signs of a car going in the water. You know, the Prosser Reservoir is very, very close, because that's the first thing I looked at. When I saw Prosser Reservoir being so close and kind of almost looping around the campground, I thought, oh no, she's tried to drive away. She's gone in the wrong direction and she's gone in the water. And it is deep in places, that reservoir. However, people who are in the area have said the reservoirs and the lakes are really low at the moment because of the lack of water, because it's not rained. I mean, we're in a drought situation here in the UK, and that never happens. So I can understand, well, like we're in like at the verge of a water shortage now in the UK when it rains literally all winter. All our reservoirs are really, really low. So I can only imagine how low the reservoirs are going to be in California. So that's playing into the searchers. You know, it's a good thing that the reservoirs and the lakes are really low, because it's easier to spot wreckage in the water. And there has been dive teams out there on that reservoir for days now. I don't know whether they're still there, but I know Tuesday, Wednesday, they were there. There was lots of footage of them. You know, they had the roads cordoned off. They had boats out there, divers out there, swimmers out there. So I'm fairly sure now that she's not in that reservoir. but there's other bodies of water in that area that they mention later on. But she'd have had to go a lot out of her way to get into a situation where she accidentally drives her vehicle into a lake. She'd have had to go I mean, they're close, relatively speaking, but not on her route, if you know what I mean. So for me, and I think a lot of people are saying in the chat, yes, they're using sonar as well, Stargirl, absolutely. The car could be hidden anywhere, you know, it could be, but that would mean that it's foul play, wouldn't it? That somebody's actually hidden the vehicle. You know, it's not that she's gone off the road and she's in the woods somewhere, or she's in the lake somewhere. That's an accident, a freak accident. It can happen. But a week down the line, there's got to have been some sign somewhere. But if the car has been hidden, it means someone, a human being, has hidden it. And that counts in my theory of foul play, because I don't know what that looks like yet. You know, do I think she's been trafficked? Someone's just said. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not into the how at the moment. I always go for why, who, and then how. But that's where I think the police have been saying that they're treating this as an abduction, even though it's not been Amber alerted. They do talk about the Amber Alert in a little while. I believe they have been using drones. They've been using helicopters, Birdie. The ones with the heat-seeking technology. So they've gone through a lot in the last week. So anyway, let's carry on. Linda, did I read your comment in my earlier video? I don't know. I've read all my comments up to about 2 hours ago. So I don't know. But I'll go and find it later.
Next, you'll be hearing from Nevada County Sergeant Hack, and he's been in charge of the search and rescue effort.
I want to thank everybody for being here today. So far in our search and rescue effort, we have over 16 agencies that have worked with us. We have in the field today, again, over 100 volunteers searching. We are utilizing resources from the local, state, and federal level to help us with the search. Equipment-wise, we are searching with motorcycles, 4x4s. We are using aircraft from CHP, from Washoe County, from Placer County, and from the Office of Emergency Services. Since I talked to you yesterday, we have doubled the amount of man hours. Yesterday we were at 1,500 hours, and we are now at about 3,500 hours dedicated by volunteers in the search effort. We have partners from throughout the state who are cooperating with us remotely to assist with our mapping and our search and rescue effort. Our search area has extended as far north as Searville. To the east, we've reached all the way to Verdi. We've gone south of I-80, below Truckee, and we've reached beyond Jackson Meadows Reservoir to the west.
That is a big area. I mean, obviously, I'm only looking on Google Maps, but that's a big area. Now, presumably, most of that will be aircraft, and then they've got so many agencies out there plus volunteers. So again, I can only say if this was an accident, I just think she'd have been found by now. She'd have had to go far out of her way. She was only 12 miles away from home, I believe. She'd have had to go far out of her way, got so dreadfully lost, and then had an accident. I mean, what's the chances of that? The more unusual her journey, the less likely it is, obviously, so I don't know. But they're pulling out all the stops. That's all I can say, and good on them, and God bless them all. They're all out there.
A very large area, and our our searchers have been putting a lot of hours in, and they're dedicated to assisting us in this search effort. That's all I have for you now. Thank you.
Nevada County Sheriff's Captain Sam Brown and Placer County Sheriff's Captain Troy Sander would like to say a few words.
Good evening, and before I get into too much, I really just want to thank our partners with the Placer County Sheriff's Office. Excuse me. Being in unified command has amplified our abilities drastically, and they bring a lot to the table. We also have the Truckee Police Department, CHP, every federal, state. We've even had the Air Force. There's too many people to thank, and too many things that have gone on. This list would go on and on and on. Before I say anything, really, I guess I'm more apologetic that it's a regurgitation of all the things that we've been saying, we've been doing. We're expanding. We're working pretty hard. Our folks are tired. We've had people searching from all sorts of fashions. We had people swimming in the water today, looking, searching. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never seen a effort as large as this. I don't have as much time on as Sheriff Wu, but have a good solid 10 years in search and rescue. Multiple day searches, all kinds of things, and I've never seen a case like this, and it is really hard to face the family and not really have good answers for you guys. So we're trying our best. Our people are exhausted, they're tired, but they're showing up every day, putting a smile on their face, and really doing the best they can. What I am really appreciative of is the community support and the things that everybody's bringing to the table. We created a mapping system from some of our SAR folks. CalTopo is a huge tool that we use, and it's allowing the citizens in the area and people who are coming from way out of the area as well, because I've talked to people in the parking lot that have come from out of state and in different various areas, to be able to provide some of the tracks and things that they're doing within the area, and allows us to create more mapping and show more detail and more information. And that's what we're lacking right now, is more information. And although we can't necessarily direct those sources and provide certain things, it gives us more information and more direction of where to go or where not to go. And those are all really important. And so if you haven't been by the family's trailer in the parking lot, we do have a system set up where you can help collect your tracks as well, and we can overlay those with the tracks that we've done, and that's a huge help. I've been on lots of searches where it's not us that finds somebody. Sometimes it's other people that are out in the community that come across something, and they're able to report it to us and help bring the family something, and hopefully something positive. And we are working extremely hard for that. I know from Sheriff.
I just want to, I've not heard of this kind of system before. And they've mentioned it at a couple of the press conferences, that they've got this system where you put in a QR code and you can put in data from tracks where you've been. So where you've searched, you can then input it into this system. And I can't quite visualize what that system would look like. It sounds great, but I can't visualize it. You know, how do they know that people aren't just putting tracks in that they haven't been on? You know, does it actually map where they're, let's say they have to use a QR code to log in, does it then track their GPS that they've actually been there? Do you know what I mean? I'm assuming it must be something like that it tracks that person's GPS, so it knows that they've actually walked or driven that track. But that doesn't mean to say that they've searched it really well, does it? You know, somebody could just drive around a certain area and then put it in and then think, well, that's been done, and that hasn't revealed any. I don't understand how reliable that is. I can't see it. I can't see it. It may track their movements, but they would need service consistently. Yeah, I'm thinking that must be how it works. And I think that must be how it works. It tracks their movements, but it doesn't say what the quality of that. You could just go for a walk and not look. You could just be walking along listening to music and not be looking, and you don't know what you're looking for. It's weird. I've never heard of this before. I mean, it's great. I always think it's great that, you know, services like this will use technology, but it puts the onus on those people who've said they've searched to do it really well. I don't know. I mean, it's good. It's good for, let's say, roads, where somebody might notice a piece of wreckage, or they might notice skid marks. It's great for that. And I'm guessing that that's what they're using it for. And then the very specific ground searches, they're reserving that for them, you know, the experienced searchers who know what they're looking for. Sister Mercy says, I think it's a camera. Okay. All right, so you've got to have your phone on. It's got to like a camera. Oh, that's a good idea, Birdie. It would be nice if they had ankle monitors for everybody searching. Person searching, maybe a perpetrator as well. And this is what I'm getting at. This is what I'm getting at. As if there's people there with guilty knowledge or have got something to do with it, and have, and I'm not naming anyone, I'm not blaming anyone, I'm just saying if there's people there who know what happened, they can use this as, you know, oh, I've searched that, I've searched that, I've searched that, and they haven't, and they actually know a lot more. If you know where I'm going with that. Shortcake says, it sounds like the system they used in the Suzanne Morphew searches. So, okay, so has this kind of system been used before? I've never heard of it. I'm not that technologically skilled, to be honest. It's great. It's great as long as it's used in the right way. And I'm just concerned that there's so many people who were there, and some of whom are now helping in the search effort, that this could be misused. And I hope I'm wrong. And I hope that that's not being done, and everybody's using this system in the best way possible. Yes, Sister Mercy, they can review it later. Yeah. But I'm assuming that would be review the tracks later. But it doesn't say how well they've actually searched, does it? It doesn't. You could go for a walk and have your phone on, even you have your camera on, and not actually be using your eyes. And I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I'm just being critical, and I'm somewhat cynical, and I hope that this is a great piece of kit that can be used again and again and again, and it does work, hopefully. So S says, maybe it's technology to filter info out in a way we aren't aware of just yet. Maybe. That's why I can't visualize this system, and I'd like to be able to see how this system works. Because if I could see how that system worked, then I may not have the reservations. It might answer some of my questions. So I'm trying to visualize it, and I can't. Maybe I can try and find it on YouTube somewhere and someone actually using it. I think that would be useful if we could find a video of someone actually using this technology to see what they see. I think that might be useful. Anyway, okay.
Sheriff Moon, I've talked to her. She's unable to even speak at the moment due to some laryngitis and things like that. And I told her I'd come up here and talk on her behalf. 100% invested in this, and she wants nothing but the best. And I know if she could come up here and talk, she'd be saying all the same things, probably a little more eloquently than I can. We have support from our district supervisors, our partners and friends, Truckee PD, CHP, everything that you can think of. I've worked with CalOES numerous times, and they're putting no stops to the efforts and energies, as well as our CEO who has offered up resources and things like that to help assist with moving on. When I was in the parking lot yesterday, and I know I'm going long, so I apologize. I think it was yesterday. Somebody came up and said they were nervous to come and talk to us, and they were uncomfortable. And I looked at them and I said, well why? I'm a person. You can come talk to me, and I understand the uniform thing. I have 2 kids. They're young. I'm a wrestling coach down in Grass Valley. I talk to kids all day long. I hang out with kids. I've had kids call me with problems and troubles and struggles outside of the law enforcement realm. I get that media has been pretty harsh on law enforcement. We feel greatly supported in Nevada County, and I know Placer County feels the same. The only thing I would say is I would encourage kids to come up, engage us, talk to us. You don't even have to talk about what's going on, but maybe that leads into something you might know.
Nana, thank you so much. Go to Profiling Evil. He has a video explaining the system. Brilliant, brilliant. I will do. I do watch some of his videos, but I must have missed that. So thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed. I need it explaining to me. Thank you so much, Parody Patty, for the $10. Thank you so much. I've got a little puppy on my knee, but you can't see him. You'll see him tomorrow in the vlog. Or Sunday, maybe Sunday, you'll see him.
Know something you feel comfortable about, and just I would encourage you to share and be forthcoming, because we need information. We're getting to the point where I don't know how to move forward without more information, and the family's been great. We appreciate you guys, and thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Troy Sander, Placer Sheriff, on behalf of Sheriff Wu and Under Sheriff Wright, we feel the pain. We see the faces. Everything you feel as parents, everything you're going.
We're talking about dogs now. Birdie says, when I was young, I studied all the dog breeds. I wanted to breed bloodhounds for the police and search and rescue, but they're so big. I was thinking maybe beagles. One of my neighbors has a beagle called Max, and he and Tilly hate each other. They are sworn enemies. Beagles are great. Beagles are fantastic dogs, but they can be a little bit stubborn, as can all hounds, I think. But yeah. Anyway.
Going through as friends and family, we also feel it with you. We have one mission, we have one team, and we have one cause, and we're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep going forward. We have a great working relationship with our partners, Truckee PD, CHP, FBI, Nevada County Sheriff's Office. I couldn't ask for a better group of people. We were gonna keep the pedal to the metal. And as I said yesterday to everybody that's out there, if you have to ask yourself the question, should you come forward with some information, you've already answered it. No piece of information is too small. It matters to us, it matters to the family, it matters to the cause. So with that, I close by saying, stay optimistic. Don't let it beat you. You got to fight through it. We're fighting for you. You got to stay optimistic. This community is great. Be with this family. Have their back. Thank you.
Good words. Good words. For those just coming in saying that they can't hear the press conference or the community meeting, I know the problems on their end. The audio is very, very low at their end. I've got it turned up as high as I can. There's nothing else I can do about it, I'm afraid. So if you wear headphones or earbuds, it does help a lot. It really does. So try that.
We'd like to now open up the portion of this meeting to Q&A, and we will direct questions to the appropriate individual to answer.
This will be a good point to get your earbuds in, because the answers to some of these are really, really helpful, I think, for the case.
Yeah, I'll answer that. The question, just in case, I don't know if it's relating over the other forums, but was whether we're telling people to stay out of an area or anything like that. There have been times throughout the search, like the boat ramp, we asked people to stay out of and we shut it down for a while and things of that nature. We don't have anything that's shut down at this moment. We would do that from time to time if there's something that we're concerned about for evidentiary value. What I would caution people on that are...
So from that, reading between the lines, they did have, I saw the photos where they had the road leading to the reservoir. They had all that taped off when they were doing the searches, when the divers were there in the water. So for me, if they've now released that back to the public, it says to me that they didn't find anything in Prosser Reservoir. That's what it says to me. So can we scratch Prosser Reservoir off the list? Yeah, probably. Thank you so much, Eudora, for the 1999. The system was used in the weekly searches for Daniel Robinson. Okay. I've spoken to his dad, David. He will gladly explain it to you. Brilliant. That's great. I'll go to Profile and Evil, and I followed Daniel Robinson's case, but not closely, I have to say. I know the case, but I've never gone into it in depth. So, yeah, brilliant. Fly on the wall. You can turn on CCs at your end, but not during a live, because this is streaming through StreamYard. It means that YouTube doesn't recognize it until the live has ended, and it processes up to the YouTube servers. It's currently streaming via StreamYard, right? So CCs don't work. But afterwards, once it's processed, and you know, if you're part of the replay crew, then you can turn on your CCs as you can any other video. So that's how it would work. I could turn on CCs here. Oh, look at this. I can turn on CCs here. Maybe that's what you meant. It doesn't pick up everything though, but it might help. I should have done that at the beginning. Let's try that and see whether that works. I should have done that at the beginning. Why didn't I do that at the beginning? Yeah, aren't I stupid?
That are civilian citizens and don't have training and don't know necessarily the types of things we're looking for and the types of things that could get damaged by it. Just caution people to be really careful. A footprint could become important. A tire track could become important. So the more foot traffic and things like that, we lose some of that. But at this point, I mean, honestly, we're looking for a car. We're looking for Kiely, potentially a phone. I'm not telling anybody to stay out of any area or anything like that. But I just want people to just be careful and conscious of what they're walking into and seeing.
And that's good, because one of the problems with just having random people out there searching is that a search area becomes saturated and people inadvertently walk over evidence or drive over evidence without realizing it. This is one of the reservations I've got about this system, that if you've got lots of people going out, that they don't really know what they're looking for and they might destroy evidence accidentally, right? But I think at this stage, because they're so lacking in clues, and there's you know, she's literally just vanished off the face of the earth, they could probably sacrifice some of that, knowing that they've been quite thorough in the areas that they've searched. They could possibly have missed something, a tire track, a piece of a tiny piece of vehicle wreck, anything, an item of clothing. I know that a black tank top was found the other day. It turned out that it wasn't Kiely's, but it was something that was turned in as a possibility. That's the kind of thing that could easily be missed. You know, a piece of clothing in undergrowth or something like that, or part of a piece of clothing, you know, anything. So, yeah.
So just so we can understand, you have a two-part question. The first part is, what are we doing to search beyond this area, and why have we not yet issued an Amber Alert? Okay. Okay. Sure. Okay.
In regards to where do you start searching? When you're in the search world, you have a area that you're going to search based on clues and objectives and ideas of where something is. And in this case, we're really focused on the point last seen, because that's the last point that we know. What you're really starting to focus on, and you heard Sergeant Hack talk about the expansion and the amount that goes on, you're starting to get into a thing where you're not really...
Nader says they should search other bodies of water around her home if she was on her way home. Yeah, but there isn't another body of water that's directly on her way home. That's the thing. She'd have had to go a considerable way out of her way for an accident to have occurred, for her to accidentally drive her car into a lake. that's the issue. Thank you, Marjorie, for the $4.99. There was another question as well that I've now lost. Hi, Gavel Geeks. Hi, Jenny. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love your work. There was another question and I lost it. Oh, and no, it's not live. This was filmed on the 10th of August. I'm live. I'm live. But the community meeting that I'm playing here was on the 10th of August, but they've only just uploaded it onto YouTube. So I'm streaming this from the recorded video that Placer County Sheriff's Office have uploaded on their channel on YouTube. So it only hit YouTube today. I have seen some clips. You guys might have seen some clips on Twitter, and but this is the whole thing. So I thought it'd be useful for us to go through it together. This question and answers thing is really useful. So go.
You're not really searching like that area. You're now traveling roads and looking for, like, say, the car. And there are tools out there that are looking for the car. Law enforcement has all been notified of the car.
Neddy says there's a creek near her home. Yeah, but if it's a creek, it's not going to be deep, is it? That's the thing. You know, you're looking for a body of water that can hide a car. I think that's where the, you know, if it's an accident and she's driven in, it has to be a deep body of water to completely submerge a car. So, but I get what you're saying. I do. I understand what you're saying. And maybe they will. Maybe they will move on to other bodies of water. Maybe they will. I hope they will. But
Bolos have reached all over the place to be on the lookout for the car. We have people from the UK that are reporting on this case.
Me, I'm reporting on it from the UK. Oh, there was one about a smartwatch. That is a really good question. Does Kiely have a smartwatch? According to Sammy, no. All American Dream Chaser asked Sammy that exact question the other day, because we believe she's got an iPhone. So could she have an Apple Watch connected to her phone? And apparently not. So no. Shouldn't the car have some kind of black box or GPS? Yeah, but you'd need the car to be able to access it, won't you? You know, if it's got, like, I don't know, one of the systems like Starlink or something, they have to have the actual car to be able to access the system. I don't know. I don't know if they can get those kind of systems remotely. And it's not a brand new car either. I think it's 2013. So it's not a brand new car. She could be, Barbara. She could be in the water without her car. But then where is her car? Do you know what I mean? It's like, yes, somebody could drown and not be found in a body of water, but where is her car? If it was an accident, where is her car? If the car's hidden, it means a human being's hidden it. That's where my thought process is at the moment.
I would say that if not the entire country, the entire world has had some tip on this case. The car is the easier target to locate, obviously, because it's larger, right? We would expect that we'd be able to find the car. Again, where I stood up here and apologized, I wish I could come and say that we found it. When you talk about expansion, and you're going to send people on countless days and hours, but just to search anywhere randomly with no cause, that's just not a responsible thing to do, and it doesn't give us any goals of where we're going. So I will say that there's tools out there, there's pieces in place to try to locate the vehicle, and as well as Kiely, and there's still in the background lots of investigation that's going on with what Lieutenant Barnhart was talking about in the investigative world, that hopefully will lead us to some clues and things like that. But to honestly just say, hey, where do you search? You know, we are looking at, say, Stampede Lake, Boca Lake, but then where do you stop? Do you look at the bottom of Tahoe? Do you look at wherever. And those aren't things that we can do. I mean, we are just people, just like everybody in this room. And we have the capability of tapping into certain systems and things that give us more resources to do things. But at the same point, if you're thinking about it, we're probably sitting around the table talking about it and how do we do this? And they're exactly things like that. As far as the Amber Alert,
he's coming on to the Amber Alert. So he did mention 2 other lakes. They're closer to Prosser Campground. They're not directly, as far as I can see, they don't look like they're directly on Kiely's route, but he has mentioned that they have been looked at. Now, Tahoe Lake, the big lake, is about 22 miles to the south. And she would have had to go well out of her way. And somebody would have had to have taken her vehicle directly there and put it in the water there. The further you go out, the less likely it's an accident and the more likely it's foul play, in my opinion. They have brought in dogs, Diane. Yeah, they talk about dogs shortly. But yes, they have. They have got dogs in.
as late as today, we're still attempting to push that system through, have that go out. But I'd still even remind people that like it is out. Everybody knows we're trying to put it out as much as possible. I know it's a bone of contention. We don't control the system, but we're trying to justify as much as possible the reasons of why we believe that it should be in the system. And we agree with you guys. There's none of us that are disagreeing with you guys, but we're trying to work within a system that's designed that we don't control. And so we're doing our best to navigate that world.
It is a shame. And I say this for just about every case. You know, for me, sitting 4,000 miles away from, well, I'm 4,000 miles away from Tennessee. I'm even further, many thousands of miles away from California. So I kind of don't feel that I should be judging the American system. But every time someone goes missing and an Amber Alert isn't issued, I have to ask why. Because apparently there's 4 criteria in California and they all have to be met. I don't understand why the Amber Alert isn't a federal system that all states work off the same criteria. I don't understand why Michael Vaughan didn't get an Amber Alert, but Summer Wells did. I don't understand why Kiely hasn't got an Amber Alert. And it seems that the sheriff's offices are agreeing with us all. And it's at the state level that they say that the Amber Alert criteria haven't been met. But they, you know, the sheriff's office from day one have said that they are treating this as an abduction and putting all the kind of services in play as if it was, I guess. So I don't know. It's silly, really. But anyway.
So your question is how a car was parked and what cars were near it? Well, we're trying to piece all that together. We have digital evidence we're trying to recover from all the young kids that were at this party. So that question is on a list of about 1,000 others that we have that are probably equally all in your mind. As my partner said just a minute ago, if you think about it, we've thought about it, right? But we want those things shared. So when we piece those pieces together and they draw to conclusion points, we can put conclusion points together to draw inferences about what really happened. And right now, it's tough for us because we don't have a lot to go off of. So we appreciate your question, but it's an ongoing investigation and we're still trying to put all that data together. So thank you.
And that's something maybe Sammy can answer, because Sammy was in Kiely's car. She said she was in Kiely's car. So where was her car parked? Presumably Sammy is able to pinpoint where Kiely's car was parked. She doesn't have to tell YouTube or social media as long as she's told law enforcement. And what cars were near it, even approximately what cars were near it. Was Kiely's car parked near other cars? How many other cars were parked near Kiely's car? So, Lolo, I wonder if there's any ravines in the area. I've wondered the same, but obviously it's a short journey home. It's only 12 miles. Presumably, not all dangerous roads have guardrails, but again, wouldn't there be skid marks or something? Wouldn't I don't know. She'd have had to go off her route for her to be lost in that way.
And then we'll come to you, ma'am.
I came back from Hirschdale the other day, and the Caltrans sign beyond the bus station was turned off. It was blank. Why?
So Eric Agate, California Animal Control Trucking Commander. So the CMS boards are activated when Amber Alert is activated. That's the changeable message sign that we're here speaking of. So since the criteria for Amber Alert has not been met, the message boards won't be activated. California law determine the criteria for when Amber Alert and when it's issued.
We're going to move on to this young lady here. Sorry.
I think they've turned up the sound at their end. It sounds louder now.
Lindsay, do you want to stand up?
Yeah, this Amber Alert thing, you guys, it was frustrating. I was in, I've seen these guys' faces a lot. We were in there, we were talking about the Amber Alert, we were talking about all of these things. There's nobody standing behind me right now that doesn't agree that the Amber Alert should have already been issued immediately. So, they share all of our frustration with that. And so I know that it's this point and it's this question, you know, and it doesn't seem right. And so many times in life, things just don't seem fair. And there's a lot right now that doesn't seem fair. But sticking on something that doesn't seem fair and continuing to just, you know, to not move forward isn't helpful either. So at this point, what I'm thinking, you know, if we all feel this way and they feel this way, there may be other people who feel this way too. And so maybe we can use this opportunity to, rather than keep on asking these guys, you know, we can go to our state legislatures and do things that might be actually more helpful and more effective in changing that, even if it doesn't change it today, even if it doesn't change it tomorrow or for Kiely at all, maybe it could change it, you know, for someone else.
And that's a really good way to look at it, isn't it? I mean, that's how Brandy Neal has kind of handled Michael Vaughan not getting an Amber Alert, that, you know, let's change it for somebody else, I guess. Birdie, as people are saying in the chat, I think you're talking about Adventures with Purpose. As far as I understand it, Adventures with Purpose don't go in to cases that are new. I don't know what criteria they have. I don't think it has to be a cold case as such, but I think it's more for those that are, you know, missing longer term. The Joycatcher says, did I hear they left once and came back together too? They went to Kiely's car. So there was Sammy. This is according to Sammy. They went to Kiely's car, Sammy and some other friends who were not been named. They went back to Kiely's car to charge a phone for Kiely to text her mother and to get more alcohol, and then they went back to the party. So how far away was Kiely's car parked from the party? Because on the map it does look like there's like a parking area. So were they using that parking area, and then was the party somewhere else? How far away did Kiely have to walk to get back to her car once she decided to leave? Is an important question, because it tells us then, you know, what's the odds of somebody being able to ambush Kiely as she was leaving and drive away in her car with her in the car. How likely is that to have happened with nobody seeing it, given how busy the party was? So Janet says those roads up there are curvy and steep and there's no guardrails anywhere. Oh, blimey. So she could have gone off the road. But again, at this stage, a week in, you know, I'd think that the route from Prosser campground to her home has been searched again and again and again and again. That's right, a violent crash or water could destroy a phone. That's right, Mr. Tomato Head. That's right. A phone, if it's just turned off, it will still emit a signal. But if it's destroyed or it's in deep water, you can still get a ping from a phone in water. But if the deeper the water is, the less likely the signal is to emit. But if it's broken, if someone's destroyed a phone or a violent crash has destroyed a phone, then it's no longer a phone. It's just a piece of metal and glass and plastic. It's no longer a phone, so it won't then emit. You know, it's just very alarming that there's been no pings at all. A phone has been off and untraceable since 12:33 p.m. on Saturday morning. That's very, very concerning. Someone's saying 3 months is the criteria for adventures with purpose. Cami says, I wish Equisearch would be called in. I'm sure Equisearch would help. It's a long way for Equisearch to travel though, because there's Equisearch Midwest and Equisearch Texas Equisearch. But they went to Tennessee, so why not California?
And that can be a positive effect too, but please understand that the lack of any new information.
May says, what do I think about it being a prank and all the kids involved for the money? A week down the line, I think every day that goes by, it's less likely to be a prank. I don't think Kiely would put her parents through that for a whole week. Within a day, maybe a prank, yeah, but you know, no, I don't think it's likely, honestly.
The lack of any movement forward with this case is not for a lack of...
Exactly, Scott. Not excluding Kiely, but where did 200 plus people park? Exactly. I know some of them got dropped off by parents and some of them were car sharing, but even if there was 100 cars there or even 50 cars there, where did they all park? I want to know where they parked. It's important.
Resources, it's not for a lack of want, it's not for a lack of determination from everyone who I'm looking at, from everyone who stands behind me, and from everyone who stands behind them. So let's work together and let's focus on asking questions that will lead to positive results instead of focusing on questions that are, I'm losing it now. I have a lot of, I don't have a lot of blood sugar, and so it just,
think the most appropriate answer, sir, to answer your question is to start with your local representative and your board of supervisors, and respectfully bring these issues forward to them, and maybe see some advice from them as to how you would proceed in something like this. So I think that probably is your best bet. Thank you.
In search and rescue, we have numerous resources in relation to canine, and they all have a different typing. So we use different types of dogs for different situations. And thus far in our investigation, we've been using what are called area C2 dogs. And those are dogs that search an area for a person. And those are the type of dogs we have. We haven't been able to establish a trail to put a bloodhound on at this point.
That's really useful to know. Thank you, Gretchen Ross 80 for the €2 super sticker, a big smiley fox or a cat or something. As you know, I'm interested in dogs, search dogs. So the type of dog that they're talking about is an area dog. So these are dogs that go out looking for anybody. So they're looking for a live person, but they're looking for anybody. So when they talk about bloodhounds, the breed bloodhounds are often used, but there's other breeds of dog that can be used as well. Labradors, Springer Spaniels tend to be used a lot more in the UK than bloodhounds, to be honest. But that type of dog, a search dog, a tracker dog, tracks a specific scent. But if they can't find a scent at all, they can't send those types of dogs out. So those dogs will be searching specifically for Kiely's scent. But they have to have a starting point for those dogs. They have to have a track to actually start that dog off on. So what he's saying here is really important, that they have not got a track anywhere to start from. So they've been sending out area dogs, which are looking for any person. They're not tracking a specific scent. They're looking for any person in the environment. So those are the types of dogs that are being used at the moment.
Can I say simply yes to all of the above? We have reached out to those law enforcement agencies, and they've been working with us. Even in specific instances where we gain some information, we can coordinate and ask them to go check this lead. So yes, we've been working with them.
Thank you, Lolo. I'd be good at training for, you would be good at training for live scent and cadaver. You're so good with your dogs. I'd love to. I know how the training works and how it's done. However, I don't have the stamina to actually take a dog out. I'd train Cassie. Thank you so much, RH, for the 1999 super sticker. That is very, very kind. I don't know what that is. Somebody with a love heart, but thank you so much. I could train Cassie. She'd be a great tracker dog, but I don't have the stamina to be able to walk with my dog for miles and miles and miles and miles. I know it looks like I walk miles and miles and miles every single day, but I've got chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, so I have to be quite careful. And I got COVID in 2021, and that knocked me out for months. So my stamina is even worse now. Otherwise, if I was younger and fitter, I would absolutely offer my services and train Cassie up as a tracker dog. I absolutely would, but I'm old now, and I have to be careful of my limitations. But yeah, so that's why Cassie isn't a dog with a job, or else she would be a dog with a job, because she'd be great at it.
hope that answers your question.
Mine's just a clarifying question. I was at the trailer earlier today and I did see the search area map and it did say to stay out of this area. So I'm just wanting to clarify based on what was on the map today, and is that going to be enforced tomorrow, just for people who just want to help?
So initially, we had communicated with the private search folks to some areas that we were determining were high likelihood for evidence. And our search and rescue volunteers go through extensive training on recognizing clues, protecting evidence, so that a small footprint or something that can be the single thing that turns the tide in a search. So we initially were asking for some particular areas for private searchers to stay out of. We have since rescinded that. And the only place that we are based out of and that we're asking folks to stay out of is our ICP.
And for those. Okay. Incident.
So the incident command post. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for the $5. Prayers for all the families and strength and love for all the families. Cases you cover. Everyone be safe and stay healthy. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So again, like the fact that they've now released Prosser Reservoir back to the public, they now have no area that's cordoned off. So I think that means, reading between the lines, I think that means that they've exhausted the searches in the areas that they felt were the most important to search at this stage. And I think they're absolutely being truthful with the public when they say they don't know. They don't know. They've nothing to go off at this moment in time, which is heartbreaking. But I think that's why they're utilising the system that they've got, this app thing that they've got, and just for the public to go out and search, because they're exhausted. So, yeah.
Incident command post for anybody who didn't hear.
Complex question for sure, right? Because anytime you use a phone, there's some sort of a trail or message. I think when we are talking about things like this, and we're talking about needing people to be brave and step up and stand tall when maybe something has gone wrong. But I understand what you're talking about, because a lack of trust and fear and the things that go on. I don't know that you could ever guarantee 100% anonymity of anything. However, what I can say is that treating an individual who provides a tip that puts them into danger is going to be treated extremely significantly from law enforcement in protecting that individual. And if there's concerns or true, like, hey, how do I completely stay anonymous? There'll be some more information later today about a new tip line that will be coming out through a email system, and somebody could truly create a email address at the library and send an email from somewhere and things of that nature. But we live in a digital world that has lots of connections, and in this case, we've lost a connection with one person, and we need people to be brave and stand up and do the right thing. If somebody's worried about anonymity or getting in trouble, I think that we're going to do the best that we can to provide that for an individual, even if they came in and talked to us. And we go to great lengths. We have lots of crimes that are investigated where people do not know who that person is. We have training classes to seal warrants to keep people there. However, when you're dealing on a high-end, real significant case, I don't know if you can guarantee any kind of anonymity like that. And the only way somebody keeps a secret is they don't tell anybody. And right now, we don't know if there's a secret or not. We're trying to encourage people to come forth that may have information, but we don't have information that they have something negative either. So the message shouldn't be misconstrued that we think juveniles are running around with key to success of this case. There really could be no information, but we need to get the word out there so that in the event that it is there, we will help protect people and keep them safe if they feel like they're in danger, and we'll do that to the best of our abilities. Whether they're a juvenile or an adult, we will do the same thing for them.
So that's interesting. Obviously, you know, since day one, they've been concerned that teenagers aren't going to want to go and, you know, give a tip, something that they know, something that they saw, if they feel that they're going to be in trouble. You know, Kiely was only 16 years old, so there would have been other 16-year-olds there, 17, 18, 19-year-olds there. You know, they're young adults, but if they're drinking, taking drugs, maybe being a bit promiscuous, and they're scared, then law enforcement have reassured everybody that they're not going to get in trouble for drinking or drugs. Or if Kiely was, you know, drinking or taking drugs, we know she was drinking, but, you know, if they saw something, they've got to say something, and nobody's going to get into trouble for it. Now, they have set up an email. I have seen an email actually floating around. I didn't put it on the little bar. I've got the tip line on the little bar running across the bottom, the ticker running across the bottom. But so they can't guarantee anonymity, though, because if this case ever went to trial and there were witnesses there, those witnesses would have to stand up in court. I mean, obviously, that's a long way down the line, and hopefully it wouldn't come to that. And hopefully Kiely will be found and brought home, whether that's alive or not. But if she's not alive, if something has happened and there's foul play involved, then some of those kids may well be witnesses, you know, later down the line, and then they can't guarantee anonymity. I don't know. It's a strange one, but they've got to, like he says here, absolutely, they've got to be brave and they've got to say something. But it could truly be that nobody knows anything. Nobody, you know, nobody saw her leave. I can't believe it's possible, but it could be that nobody actually saw her leave. And if that's the case, then that's heartbreaking. But we don't know. We just don't know. And neither do law enforcement.
You guys are going to get really tired of hearing from me talk, I'm sure. I'm sorry. We checked in. I believe it was confirmed we had 0 calls for service. We did have a deputy, and I believe somebody from the U.S. Forest Service was actually in the area the night of, and nobody was diverted to that for any kinds of concerns or anything. And, you know, it's not illegal for kids to go camping in the woods. And obviously, there's information that maybe people were doing things and drinking and potentially some drugs and things like that. I reassure everybody, at this point, we don't care about any of that. And in fact, any crime that's really committed outside of our presence, there's very limited amount of things that we can take action on. But I can tell you right now, we don't care. We just want to find Kiely. So whatever you can provide, but we did not have any calls for service regarding it.
Okay, so no calls about, you know, there's been things about a fight and things like that. So there was no calls or anything to law enforcement during that party. Good to know.
So to answer about the tip line, I'm not sure about that. I know that the tips are flowing in. So if someone does come in with that concern, there are alternatives. Obviously not anonymous, but if you do call one of our dispatch centers, Nevada County Sheriff, Truckee, Placer, that information, or they will get transferred or their information taken down to be given to a detective to follow up. Hope that answers your question.
Diane, I think it was Diane. Was it Diane? Lost it now. I hate it when that happens. Oh yeah. I wonder if the two girls had a disagreement and that's why they separated. I speculated on that too in my video this morning, that whether there was an argument of some kind, and that's actually all Sammy isn't saying. You know, that she feels guilty, so she's not saying that they had an argument. I think that's possible, very possible. But surely somebody must have seen something. I can't believe that somebody hadn't seen something. Kiely leaving. Was she on her own when she left? Was someone with her when she left? That's the crucial thing. Was someone with her when she left? And what direction did she go in? It's really important.
I think these are your questions spot on, and this is a good reason for having a community meeting is to.
Sorry, I keep stopping this. Parody Patty, another press conference at 2:00. So that's 2:00 Pacific time. So that will be 10 o'clock for me, 10 p.m. for me. So I won't be streaming that live. I'll watch it on someone else's channel, whoever's streaming it. There's been problems with these pressers over the last few days. I know channels have been having problems finding them to put them on, but I'll be tucked up in bed watching someone else streaming the presser. But it's good to know that there's another one. It'll be 2 p.m. PST, Pacific time, because it's California. So it'll be 10 p.m. UK time, and then whatever that is, Eastern, it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern, I think. I'm guessing. But I know I'm 8 hours ahead of California. So it'll be 10 p.m. for me.
To not miss the target audience. We'll work on getting some of our flyers and things translated because it's a fantastic idea. As far as INS, there's a huge criteria to report somebody to ICE, which is the Immigration Customs Services and whatnot. I believe Nevada County's done like 0 of them. I think there's some requirements when somebody is incarcerated, but we're still not even turning people over to immigrations and customs. We're not interested in that. We're interested in locating people, but I can't guarantee that if somebody was located and their information met that criteria that they wouldn't be deported or there wouldn't be some further action. I can't guarantee that because those circumstances could be seriously major and I wouldn't know that ahead of time. However, that's not our concern. Our concern is filing Kiely. So for minor things and issues that people might be concerned about, most of the time, people who are here, whether legally or illegally, if they're not documented or they have family and things like that, they typically kind of know the rundown of what would get them in trouble or not. Or maybe they use a family friend that does have their papers and is squared away and doesn't have to, and that can be reported again anonymously through a third party, and they can always refuse to provide that information. And so I think there's strategies that maybe people can utilize that if they're really afraid. I had a lady yesterday come up to me and give me a third party information about an area to check. I wrote down the clue and the tip, and I basically did the same as the tip line would do. I fed it into the machine, and the folks that are tracking all the tips and everything let it in. It doesn't have to be where we're tracking everything. We want clues. So even if somebody calls up, yeah, we might have a phone number, but whatever, you can call from a store, you can call from a payphone. I mean, there's some drastic methods to take if you're really, truly afraid and need to be anonymous. I get that. If you saw something really gruesome, then I get that. I just want to say we don't have a crime scene of something like that either. I don't want people to immediately go down that awful role of humans and things like that. Somebody said it earlier, let's be positive and work towards a goal. If somebody knows something like that, I would sure hope that they would come forward. But we are looking for any and all clues, and including, if people aren't documented being afraid, there's methods I think they could utilize, and we'll work on translating some of our flyers.
That's all good to know. And again, they're just saying, we don't care. We don't care about your situation. We don't care if you're illegal. We don't care what you were doing. We just want information. We just want clues to locating Kiely. And I think I think law enforcement are they're just trying every possible thing to get people to come forward. And that's exactly right, Kerry Gallagher. The car could be in a garage of a house 5 minutes away. Yeah, it could be. But a human being would have had to put it there. So that then is foul play, isn't it? But absolutely.
I'd like to address real quick a comment that you made that I think is at the crux of this whole issue. When we become parents, right, we take on a lot of responsibility, and as kids get teenage years and phones now, there's a lot of complications that I didn't have to deal with when I was young. If your child tells you, or your kid tells you, look, I think I have something that not good, and there's also some things I might get in trouble for, that's risk. I would ask every parent to measure that to their loss right now and put yourself in their shoes. and be courageous for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a really difficult situation, isn't it? If your 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old who's just about to go off to college tells you something that you know incriminates them, in even if it's something relatively minor, you might not want that child, or you might not want to report that because you think that child or that young person, 18-year-old's an adult, but a young person is going to get into trouble. And all I can say is what he just said: put yourself in the shoes of Kiely's family. And wouldn't you rather say something if you know something? And somebody must have seen something. I can't believe no one saw anything. And people keep saying here in the chat, as I keep thinking, as I've talked about for the last 2 days in my videos, Sammy knows more than she's saying. I believe she does as well. I believe she does as well. Now, it might be something that just puts her in a bad light. Like her and Kiely had an argument, and that's why she left, and left Kiely there knowing that she was drunk and she feels guilty. It could be that. And it's horrible for a friend to do that. Horrible. But that might be the only thing she's hiding. There could be more to it. We don't know at the moment, but it concerns me. It concerns me. Sammy's behavior concerns me. Her inconsistent stories concern me. I cannot stress that enough. I am concerned about the inconsistency of her story. Oh, we've got the porn bombers in. Hold on a minute. Let me just get rid of that person. Hide user. Get rid of this. Have I got any mods in? I've got a few mods on this channel, but just get rid of these stupid people. Right, I've deleted the person, so they shouldn't be able to do it anymore. But anyway, there we go.
I do want to follow up with the tip question. My partner reminded me another alternative is the email address that has been set up. So if someone isn't able to get through, the lines clogged, you can refer them to the email address. So the question is whether or not there was one point of origin where the invite came out. There was multiple invites, you know, via all means of media to this party. So yeah, to pinpoint one, it was multiple uses of media. Yes. So at this point, I think we've been very honest and open with the family of where we are at with the investigation. And there are some things that we cannot talk about because it might interfere with the investigation. But what we know is that Kiely's car after 12:30.
Yeah, Luna, following the Brian Laundrie parenting handbook. Yeah. Yeah. Bella says, I'm not sure Kiely texted her mom. That could be someone else who texted instead of calling their mom if high or drunk. I'm not convinced. I mean, perhaps Kiely's mother knows the style in which Kiely texts. We've got more porn nonsense coming on here. There we go. Maybe she knows her style of text. You know, sometimes people have a certain style, certain emojis they use that would be difficult for somebody who didn't know that to copy. So I'm hoping that Kiely's mother is confident that the text she received at 11:30 was Kiely. But obviously we don't know, and it is a concern that it was a text and not an actual phone call. But the fact, if it was Kiely, the fact that she texted and said she'd be setting off in 45 minutes tells me she hasn't run away. That's what it tells me.
33 a.m. has not been seen. I can tell you that definitively. So we are following up on every lead possible. If we get information that there was a silver car matching her description seen anywhere, we're following up with that. And then, so I hope that answers your question. It's not necessarily something that we're going to update the public on, but if we do have a big find, it's going to be something significant for us that we might be putting out to the public. Yes.
So this is Kylie's dad coming up. I put this clip. I found this clip on Twitter yesterday. I put this clip on Michelle After Dark just as a short, a YouTube short. But just to kind of follow up on that, that of course there are going to be things, leads that they're following that they're not going to disclose to the public, because obviously this is an open and active investigation. Of course they're not going to do that. However, 12:33 again. Very clear, 12:33. Kylie's car has not been seen since 12:33. So who saw Kylie's car last? That's the question. Was that Sammy? Did Sammy see Kylie's car last? Did anybody see Kylie's car after Sammy? You know, at 12:33? Because if her car hasn't been seen since 12:33, it means she left the campground, or at least that car left the campground at 12:33. So who saw that car leave? Someone must have seen that car leave. Simple as that.
My name's Kiely Rodni. I'm Kylie's father. I'm running on fumes here, so bear with me here. Something dawned on me this morning that, obviously, our family has suffered immensely. I mean, I can't tell you what we're going through.
We don't know, Ange. That's the thing. Sammy was at Kylie's car at 12:33. We don't know. Sammy says that she saw Kiely at 12:25. This is what she told a news outlet a few days ago, that she spoke to Kiely at 12:25. So 8 minutes before Kylie's car was last seen. So if Sammy was the last person to see Kiely, who was the last person to see Kylie's car 8 minutes later? The fact that Kylie's phone hasn't pinged since 12:33 is one thing, but now they're talking about Kylie's car. So who was the last person to see Kylie's car? Thank you so much, Cecile. Thanks for keeping on top of this, Michelle. Someone had to know. Exactly. Working in groups of kids, talking to the media. Yeah, they are. I'm not concerned about that, but that's coming up shortly. So thank you so much.
What dawned on me this morning is Kiely was born and raised here. She is this community. She is your daughter too. She is this is our community's daughter. She is no longer just our daughter. This is your kids. These are the parties your kids are going to. We need answers, and you need answers, because when your kids become 16, where are they going to go? My daughter's a straight A student. On her way to UC Santa Cruz, she's at 16. She's 16 going to college, This is Tahoe. This isn't supposed to happen here, We need answers. Remember, this Kiely is your child too. So please, anything, please, we need you.
It's just so sad. That broke my heart when Kylie's dad spoke. It's so sad. So Ange, yeah, so yes, I laid this out in my video today. I laid it out with the clips from Sammy. So Sammy says that she saw Kiely at 12:25. Then Sammy says that Kiely rang her, not a text, rang her at 12:36. Now we know that time has to be wrong, because the cops say that the last contact at all from Kiely at all was 12:33. So Sammy must be wrong on that time. But she said that Kiely rang her. So only 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 8 minutes, maybe, after Sammy saw her, Kiely rang her asking if she still needed a lift. And Sammy says, no, she was on 89, so Highway 89, in the passenger seat. It's all very shady. It doesn't make sense. Listen to my video today, because I've laid it all out with the clips. It does not make sense listening to what Sammy says, and that is a concern. The fact that her story is not straight is a problem for me, a big problem for me. Really is. Really is.
Hi, everyone. I'm just coming to you from the civilian front, from the team Kiely that's been working over there at the base camp since Sunday. Thank you everyone for all the work that you've been doing and all your volunteer services. Thank you all. Thank you. I come to you not as a good friend of the family.
So Nana says, logically, if BFF saw her at 12:25 and then phone pinged at 12:33, there is an 8 minutes. How far could she have driven in 8 minutes? She could have got onto the highway. I've looked at the route out of the campground onto Highway 89 is about 5 or 6 minutes, but it depends on where she was parked. That's just taking it from where Google Maps puts the little pin for Prosser Family Campground, and then tracking that to the beginning of where the intersection is with Highway 89, and it's about 5 minutes. So she could have got onto the highway, but it depends on where she was parking. But Kiely was still at the party. This is something else that Sammy said. She said when Kiely rang her, she says 12:36, but it had to be 12:33. She says, in her own words, she says that Kiely was still at the party. Sammy was on Highway 89 with her ride, but Kiely was still at the party at 12:33. Now, that does make sense, that if Sammy left at 12:25, 8 minutes later, she would have been on Highway 89. That makes sense. But Kiely was still there. So by 12:33, Sammy had left, according to Sammy. So who was the last person to see Kiely? Because it wasn't Sammy. Sammy might have been the last person to speak to Kiely if it's true that Kiely did ring her from the party at 12:33. But we've only got Sammy's word for that. So who saw Kiely leave?
Family, I come to you as a secondhand friend of a good friend of somebody. If that makes sense, decipher that. The reality is the way this community has come together, it is amazing. And I want you to know that we are going to be there every day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. working and searching and answering questions and holding your hand while you are holding our hands. This is about hope. This is about that we keep moving forward, because one thing we know is when we sit and we are idle, what happens? Unless you're breathing and meditating, what happens? We get lost. So please, if you're like, I don't know what I can do, come down and say hi. Let us know that you're thinking of us. Do the social media pieces. Flyering, yes, we're going to have them in Spanish. Come down, flyer that. Flyer again where it's been flyered before. Maybe you saw it over here, but we didn't see it over there, and maybe it's only two blocks away, but we can flyer. We have people going all over the area, beyond Truckee, beyond Tahoe. We can do it again. Searching, that app that we have now, amazing, right? How many great gals and guys that have been on their motorcycles, on their feet, and walking through the forest and the trails and looking for something that lets us know that Kiely is coming home, right? That's what we're doing. Once, a million times is not too much to travel those roads. We have to travel lots of roads to find truth, and so let's find the truth. Let's find Kiely.
Thank you, Jazz King, for the $2 and the little birdie doing a dance. These super stickers are great. Yeah, I'm agreeing there always. I don't think they were friends. I don't think they were as good friends as what Sammy's saying. I think Sammy's just inserted herself. Whether that's because she feels guilty or whether that's because she wants that, she likes the attention, she's enjoying it, I don't know, but it's very sketchy, in my opinion.
So we have a team. We have a team.
Okay, here's the girl herself. Here's Sammy. So somebody asked before if Sammy was at the meeting. She was in the audience. When they panned over, you saw her in the audience. So let's listen to what she's got to say. This is very, very, very interesting.
That tongue twister, team. There are 5 significant teams that have been working on this case. They have been doing the social media. They have been part of the powerhouses of what we're doing. We also have an adult team. So let's not think that we are leaving our teams on their own to be able to figure out how we find Kiely. We are all here. We are all working, right? So Kiely's going to share what is happening next for the teams for tomorrow night.
So that's Kiely's mother hugging her. That's very kind of her. I'm not sure I would be quite that thankful, grateful. If someone had left my daughter, knowing that she was drunk, knowing that she was too drunk to drive, I'm not sure that I would be quite as friendly. But I guess everybody's just kind of mucking in and things like that will be answered later. I don't know. I don't know. It's not the kind of thing that I used to do when I was young or even when I was older. People looked out for each other. I don't know.
So, hi. Here, give me a second. So, yeah, as she said, I'm Sammy. I am one of the leaders of the team. It's a tongue twister, yes. We have had a great output. Yeah, yesterday when we had the Tahoe team to team. What a team to team talk is no parents, no media, no cops, no adults. It's just kids talking to kids. Your kids have best friends that are their ages. Your kids are comfortable talking to their friends. And hopefully what we're trying to do is that they can come to us and they can talk to us. They can tell us what they saw. They don't have to have the pressure of these cops. They don't have the pressure of the adults. They don't have the pressure of everything else that's going on. Something else could be going on in their life, but what's important is that they know that we are there to talk. We're not trying to get them in trouble. We're not trying to tell their parents on them or get them grounded or have the police on them. We can do completely anonymous tips. Everything helps. We've had a lot of kids say that, oh, I already gave out my witness statement. That's great. These are one-on-one interviews though. These can pop up, spark anything in your mind that you might remember. And these are crucial. And we have so much more evidence, many more things to work on based off of just our one in Tahoe yesterday. And what I'm here to talk about is that tomorrow, which will be August 11th, we will be holding one in Incline. I want to make this clear that this is open to anybody that may have not gone to one yet. And you are welcome to come do team to teams. Here at the rec center, we have everything set. Like, you can do team to teams at any time. If you need me to drive out at 3 a.m. in the morning to meet you, I will. I will drive to people's houses. We can get you rides. We can get you there. We can talk to you anywhere you need. We just have set places so that there can be rally points. But this one's tomorrow, 8/11, like that's the date, will be held at
from 5 to 7:30. We can't stay later. We stayed out until 10 p.m. yesterday at Incline High School. So from 5 to 7:30 or later on August 11th at Incline High School, we will have a team-to-team. This is open to anybody from Reno, South Lake Tahoe, Kings Beach, Truckee, anybody who needs to. That is the rally point for tomorrow for this. Again, I want to say that you are welcome to come out and talk to us at any point. I've been doing some today. I did some yesterday. I did hundreds yesterday. I've done everything, and we really just need every teenager to come out and talk. I heard that question earlier about deportation and ICE and everything. I don't know you. I don't have to know you. I will act like I've never seen you once before in my entire life, even if you are my best friend. I will act like this is the first time. I will take your name to jail. If they try to question me for that, I don't care. I will not give up your name. Seriously.
I do not like this, guys. And the chat went a little bit crazy as Sammy started talking, that it seems that you guys don't like it either. I don't like it. Now, my question has been, and I asked a question in my video today, and I almost tweeted the county sheriff. I almost tweeted them, and I thought, no, maybe the answer's out there. So I'm glad that I saw this, because this has answered my question. My question was, do law enforcement know what Sammy is doing, what these teen teams is all about? And they're all sitting there, they're all smiling, they're all there. The county sheriffs are there. So they do know. I don't like it, guys. And you're like, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. But obviously law enforcement are supporting it. So who am I to say that this is the wrong approach? Yeah, I am as well. Yeah. Lock down with April C. Lock down with April C. That's great. I'm flawed. I know. Did you, Shredder, already message the sheriff? I'm concerned. Look, what if these teens, including Sammy, know more than what they're letting on? And this is a way for them to insert themselves, to find out what's going on, to find out what other people know, what other people have seen. Now, it says to me that they don't consider Sammy a person of interest. Well, maybe that's because they can, maybe they've got a track on Sammy's phone and they know that she left before 12:33. Which would mean that if Kiely was still at the party and Sammy had left, then Sammy is not directly involved. But, like, just logically speaking, if Sammy left at 12:25 when she last spoke to Kiely in person, and then Kiely rang her and Sammy was on Highway 89, maybe that's been confirmed by Sammy's GPS on her phone. And Kylie's whereabouts, we don't know because we don't have a phone. But if Sammy's whereabouts checks out, then she's not going to be high up on the person of interest list, is it? But it doesn't mean to say that she doesn't have any knowledge. It doesn't mean to say that she's not holding things back. And I'm flawed. I'm flawed. I've never seen anything like this before. Teenage teams are like Scooby-Doo. You know, can you imagine? Can you imagine Sheriff Ronnie Lawson in the Summer Wells case? Can you imagine? I mean, he's got a problem with everybody. Can you imagine if a load of teenagers wanted to have these meetups about Summer Wells? He'd be appalled, and I'd agree with him. But these guys are obviously a lot more liberal, and they're just desperate. And maybe they think this is a way to get the teens to talk. And I pondered this, and I mentioned it in my video today. I pondered whether Sammy and the other teen team leaders are wearing wires when they're speaking to these teenagers. That's the only thing that makes sense. That law enforcement know what is being said because Sammy and her other team members are wearing wires. That's the only thing that makes sense. And if that's the case, then that's great. That's fantastic. That is a very clever way to work. So if that's the case, then I'm all for it. But if they're not, and they're taking tips and taking information from these teenagers and then choosing what to pass on to law enforcement, that's a big worry. But if they're wearing wires, if they're recording every single conversation, then personally, I'm all for it, because it means that they're going to get information. Even if it's anonymous, they're going to get information and clues. But if they're not, if these conversations are not recorded in any way, then I think it's an absolutely terrible idea. Really terrible idea. That's all I can say. But it's answered my question. Do law enforcement know that Sammy's doing this? Yes, they do, because they're all sat there. So that's answered that question.
So on the app, all the data that's been collected from the time that the app was initiated, we're also collecting historical information for persons who had tracked themselves in previous days. That information is all available on that map. The greatest recommendation I would make is, if you look at that map, you can see where people have not been. You have to look at yourself. You have to look at the situation. We have had incidents in the past where...
Yeah, FBI is involved. One of the FBI agents spoke at the press conference on... Oh, the days are all melding into one. I'm not sure whether it would have been the 8th of August press conference, I think. So yes, the FBI are involved. Birdie says, Michelle, did they get everybody's phones? Well, they don't know who was at the party, so they won't have got everybody's phones because they don't know. But they did say at the beginning of this that they've been getting teenagers in who've agreed to speak. So Sammy, they'll have looked at Sammy's phone, and they've been downloading pictures and things from the teenagers' phones, but they don't know everybody who was there. So hopefully these team meetings are being recorded. That's the only thing I can say. But we're nearly at the end now, so I'll let this go through to the end, and then we'll come back and have a chat.
People have gotten themselves into areas and become hurt, and we've had to take searchers away from our search effort to go rescue them. So we want you to really look at those things and be honest with yourself if that's an area that you should be. But by looking at that map, you can see what areas need to still be checked. So we're not going to rule out any scenario. We're looking for tiny items. We are looking for Kiely, and we are looking for a vehicle.
Hi, it's me again. Okay, so just I was negligent in thanking you all. I thank everybody who's here. I thank everybody who's watching. I thank everybody who's to my right. I thank you. I think, you know, the town and the community, and I'm kind of bumbling a little bit, but just the support that we have received from everywhere, from everyone, from people who we know and love and recognize their faces, you know, with our eyes closed, to those who we've never seen your face before, and you're just a new dear friend. Thank you for caring so much about my baby. Let's keep moving forward, and let's bring her home. So yeah, okay. Now you can
kind of hard to follow that up, but we do want to add that as of today, the sheriff's office has created a QR code for anybody who wants to submit photos or videos that they believe are pertinent to this investigation. We have set up a link on all of our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, in addition to in-person QR codes. As a matter of fact, there's a QR code on a piece of paper on that table in the back where we have Taylor Wolf, Nevada County PIO. She's holding it up. So please, if anybody has any information or knows anybody who has any type of information that they think may benefit us in our investigation to bringing Kiely home to her parents and her family and her friends, please, please, please tell them we have multiple modes of reporting this. And we do want to add that our Detective Sergeant Alford on the side over here is available to take any questions, or anybody who may think that they have a tip or any piece of information and they just want to pass it on, no questions asked. And with that being said, we will conclude our community meeting for this evening. Thank you so much.
There we go, guys. There we go. That's the full 48 minutes. So I thought that was, of all of the pieces of information that have come out from law enforcement, I thought that was the most informative. I thought that the press conferences have been quite repetitive. I mean, I guess if they've not got anything to report, then of course, you know, they can't just start making things up, can they? But you know, for our entertainment. But it's answered some of my questions. Certainly, the most important thing for me to take home is that they are aware that Sammy's doing these team meetups. We know what kind of dogs are being used. We know that all the areas that they've previously searched, they've opened those back up to the public. So we can kind of conclude from that she's not in Prosser Reservoir. She's not in the immediate vicinity. There's no signs of a car going off the road or any signs of an accident in the vicinity of the search area. It is quite an extensive search area that they've covered so far. So yeah, but I'm back on StreamYard now. I've been reading the comments from YouTube while I've been streaming the conference. But for me, it's been a useful exercise to go through this and read what comments you guys have got. And I think we're mainly all on the same page here, that there's big concerns. There's big concerns in the way that this investigation is going. And I don't know, there's things that just do not add up. Yeah, absolutely, country girl. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light. Absolutely. But how long that will take, you know, this is the thing. This is the thing. So has anybody any questions? I'm not promising I can answer them. Jennifer Coffindaffer spoke with Tyler Feller on this case. Oh, I saw that. I started watching that and I forgot something. I don't know what made me leave. But I need to go back to that and listen to what Jennifer Coffindaffer had to say. Because she has some interesting opinions. I don't always agree with what she says, but she does have some interesting opinions. Apparently there is. Somebody in the chat earlier said that there is another press conference later. I just dropped my AirPod. There we go. I don't need them now because I'm not streaming anything. Yes, apparently there is 2 p.m. Pacific time. Now, that's just according to somebody in the chat. So Grizzly True Crime has got a live scheduler later. I know there were several channels streaming the press conference last night. I'm not going to be streaming it. It's going to be 10 p.m. my time because I'm 8 hours ahead of California. So I'll be tucked up in bed listening to someone else stream it. So I won't be on later. I have, yes. I have. Summer Wells, they did a press conference every day for a few days for like the first week. I've got them all on this channel, Michelle Walks. They did that like June the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and then I think they might have had a couple of days off. So yeah, it's quite common for them to do it every day for the first week or so. But as I keep saying, this is the acute phase of the search. What I mean by that is it's all systems go. They've got every angle being covered. They've got ground searches, air searches, water searches. They're exhausting they'll have gone from Prosser campground out. So they'll have like a grid when they go from the, point zero where she last was out. And they've gone quite a way out. But once we get 2 weeks in, that acute phase, the amount of law enforcement, the amount of man hours that are being put into it can't carry on indefinitely. So if she isn't found within the next week or so, I think what they'll do is they'll scale down the search, and that's standard practice. They'll scale down the search, and then it becomes like more of a longer term effort where the bulk of the investigation is desk searching. It's the detectives and FBI agents, working behind the scenes, and we don't see that. We don't see what they're doing, all the hours that they're putting in behind the scenes. But what we're seeing at the moment is that massive outpouring of community support, which is great, and law enforcement. But that won't last forever. So it will, if she's not found within the next week, we're not going to see daily press conferences. We're absolutely not. So presser 2 p.m. Pacific time. See Shredder's comments in the chat. Shredder. How far do I have to go up? I thought I've been pretty good. This one. I was shaking yesterday. Once remembered him. Called the tip line immediately. Told them they should remember him. What's this? Who did you see? Do I have to go further back up? Shaking yesterday, once I remembered him, called the tip line immediately, told them they should remember him. Who are you talking about, Shredder? Oh, gosh. It was this department who let him go, and the DA, the victim committed suicide. Oh, my God. I don't know who we're talking about, but this sounds horrible. This sheriff's department, oh my God. Letting a rapist, let's just say the word for once, go last year. He's freely roaming around the county, being a creeper and drugging women. Oh my word. I call the tip line to remind them to check his garage. Oh my, Shredder. Oh my. What's this guy's name? Is he on the, don't put his name in. If he's not on the RSO register, disregard what I said. If he's on the RSO register, but if they've let him go, because I'd like to know who that guy is. Yeah. So that would be Placer County or Nevada County, I'm guessing, because those are the two counties that are involved in this. That is not good. Not good. Give us the Shredder. Don't give his name if he's not on the RSO register, but could you give his location, like the town he lives in? Because that is really important. If you're still in the chat. What's this? Donna? I would love if one channel on YouTube would address the two others who went missing the same weekend, car gone, phones off, same, but older people, lady is 29. I don't know this case, Donna. Because I'll definitely look into it. Is this in the same area? Because that's terrifying. They should indeed. He was working at North Star. Okay. Oh, my word. Oh, this is just awful. I will. Thank you so much. North Star's a resort. Right. Thank you so much, because I'm going to look into this guy. I'll find him. Doesn't it just? Doesn't it just? And he still works there. Okay. I'm on it. And you see, obviously, if he's not on the RSO register, I can't name him. If he's on the RSO register, I can name him because he's out there, public domain information. But I can't dox him. Yeah, Donna, what case is this? Yeah, absolutely. I was going to sign off, but I need this information now, because you know what I'm going to be doing as soon as I sign off. Put the information out. What's the name of the person who's missing? I'm going to be very careful. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not going to do anything that will jeopardize the channel. Not going to dox anyone. I'm not. This will be my own personal research that I'll do behind the scenes. And if I find some information that's very relevant to the case, the first people who know will be law enforcement, and then you guys will get that information without the names and whatever. I might not find anything other than what Shredder has told us. So who are the two, you guys? Who are the two? They're in the news. To be honest, you know, I'm so focused on Kiely. I've been looking at all the news I've been looking at is Kiely. What the? Drugged a woman after one drink. She had a video of it and they still let him go. Oh, my word. The phone pinged about 35 minutes away from the party. What's the case? Who are these women? Yuba City. All right. Okay, let's have a look. Yuba City. Missing women. Oh, my word. Oh, content not available. I need a VPN. Here we go. Let me just share my screen here. All right. Yuba City woman and her ex-boyfriend reported missing after weekend trip to Reno. Yuba City woman and her ex-boyfriend have been missing for days after they were supposed to return home from a trip but never came back, according to a family member of this woman. Jeanette Pantoja went on a day trip to Reno with Juan Almanza, who's in his early 30s, on Saturday, family member said. Last text, was sent to a message to her boyfriend 30 minutes away and would be home soon, but she never came home. Oh, all right. Thank you so much. I will look into that. I'm not saying it's connected to Kiely in any way, but we don't know, do we? Let's have a look on the old maps. How far away is it? Yuba City. Oh, it's near Sacramento. So there's Lake Tahoe, there's Truckee. There's Reno. So this woman and her ex-boyfriend who were missing went from there, went to Reno, were meant to be coming home, and they've gone. So let's have a look. So it's 2 hours away, 97 miles. So not necessarily saying that they're connected, but that is very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I'll look up some more information. Oh, I've got this block user, get lost. These palm bombers again. All right, got rid of it. Yeah, if you're in the Facebook group, so it's MichelleAfterDark's True Crime Discussion Group. The link to the Facebook group is in the description. If you're on Facebook, if you just join the group, you can drop us a link, and we'll discuss it in there. And same with anybody who wants to contact me, just get into the Facebook group, and we can chat there. Yeah, it's quite close. So Reno from it's over the state line, but it's quite close. Like there's the state line. So it's only like 36 miles from Prosser Campground. So they went there, said they were on the way back to Yuba City, and have disappeared. Definitely one to look into. Definitely one to look into. August 11th. So yesterday. Apparently so. They're completely missing. Now that is interesting. That is very interesting. I guess it's something that they will follow up, but they'll follow it up behind the scenes, because you just never know. You never know with these things, that there could be a connection. Leave no stone unturned. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you've come in right at the end here, Shannon. That's okay. If it's triggering, it's fine. You know, it's a true crime group, so some of the things are very triggering, but these things have to be looked into. If you know, if you're into true crime, then The cell phones last pinged in Nevada County, right? Not 2 hours. Oh, well, Google Maps thinks it is. But the important thing is the distance between Reno and Prosser campground. Because if they were on the way back from Reno, then they're going to be closer to Prosser than where they came from, aren't they? Boys on the ground the other day out in a boat. If you're talking about the searches on the reservoir, yeah, they were out for a couple of days. Oh, boots. Boots on the ground. Were boots on the ground the other day? Yes, they were. They were on Prosser Reservoir. Yeah. Of course you can, yeah. Just rejoin. Yeah, of course you can. Just click to rejoin. That's not a problem. It will automatically join your cam unless you're a new Facebook account. If you're a brand new Facebook account, then I've got to approve it. I have like it set to stop spammers, to be honest. So I have to manually approve people who've got new Facebook accounts just so I can check them out. But it should just let you in. Brilliant, thank you. I will be on that. I will be on that. And there'll be members. There's people in this chat right now who are members of that group who talk a lot in that group. And we like to do some investigations. That's what we do. They're not. Let's have a look what the dogsters are up to. So Bella's asleep, Jack's asleep. Max is just chilling. Alarmingly, the puppy's nowhere to be seen. Tilly's nowhere to be seen, and Cassie's nowhere to be seen. So the 3 troublemakers are nowhere to be seen, but they're all quiet. So I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. It's called MichelleAfterDark's True Crime Discussion Group or something. Let me put it on the screen here. MichelleAfterDark's True Crime Discussion Group. But there's a link. It is a private group, so you have to request to join. You have to answer a couple of questions as well. Oh, that's Cassie barking in the yard there. So I know Cassie's. Oh, Tilly's coming downstairs. So they're definitely not asleep. Oh, the pup's whining now. Oh dear me. Oh dear. I better just a sec. Give me one moment. I'm going to see what the pup's up to. He's whining. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. He didn't like the fact that Cassie was patrolling the fence. She sort of heard someone at the other side of the fence, so she's patrolling. Noodle got a bit scared, but he's all right now. Oh, the money tree. The money tree is still there, but it's very dead. Very dead. Why do you smell like poo? He smells like poo. I think I'm going to have to go. He smells like poo. I think he's stood in poo. I might have to go and wash his paws. So I think that's a good time to leave. You smell. What have you been doing? You've stood in poo, haven't you? Oh, you have as well. Right, guys. On that note, Yeah. So thank you for attending. We've been here 2.5 hours. This is a lot longer than my yeah, Noodle. Yeah. Oh dear me, Noodle. He's only 10 weeks old. What have you been up to? Oh, naughty boy. You're gonna have to have a wash now. So thank you for attending. Thank you for modding. Miss Leah. Are you tired? He's tired. He's yawning. Yeah, we have to have a wash before you go to bed. Okay. So thank you for joining. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. Very, very much appreciated. And I'll see you very soon. I'll see you tomorrow in the video. Bye, guys.